Hello, everybody, and welcome to the 74th edition of Englishing with Jings. And this week, we are premiering a brand new series of topics. We'll be calling this the Career Series. I'm really excited about this. It will be very informative. Today's topic of the Career Series is lifeguard. That's right. We'll find out a little bit about lifeguards, what they do, what it takes to be a lifeguard, maybe even a few stories about lifeguards saving lives, something like that. But first, as I promised last week, we will continue the 2020 Tokyo Olympics medal table. I'm also excited about this. Okay, let's get right to it. Okay, here we go. First, we'll do total number of medals. Okay, first is the US with 108, 87 for China, 69 for the Russian Olympic Committee, 63 for Great Britain, 56 for Japan, the host country, of course, Australia 46, Italy 39, Germany 37, the usual suspects. Netherlands 33, France 32, Canada 23, New Zealand 20, South Korea 20, 19 for Brazil, 19 for Hungary, 18 Ukraine, 17 Spain, Cuba 14. This is cool to see so many different countries have good amounts. Poland 14, Switzerland 13, Turkey 13, very good. Chinese Taipei, that's Taiwan, 12. Czech Republic 11. Denmark 11, Jamaica 9, Sweden 9, Kenya 9, Croatia 9, a neighbor of Serbia where I live, Georgia 8, Kazakhstan 8, 7 for Norway, Iran, Serbia, Belarus, India, Austria, Azerbaijan, all 7. Here's the 6s. Belgium and Egypt both have 6. Lots of 5s. Slovenia, Bulgaria, Hong Kong, Indonesia, Colombia, and Dominican Republic. Lots of 4s. Uganda, Israel, Uzbekistan, Romania, Venezuela, Philippines, Slovakia, Ethiopia, Portugal, Armenia, Mongolia, Mexico, all 4. Ecuador 3, Greece 3, Qatar 3, South Africa 3, Ireland, Mexico, all 4. Kyrgyzstan, Ecuador 3, Greece 3, Qatar 3, South Africa, San Marino, all 3. Ireland, Mexico, all 4. Kyrgyzstan 3, Greece 3, okay, 2 for Kosovo, Qatar 3, South Africa, San Marino, all 3, Estonia, Ireland, Mexico, all 4. Latvia 2, Kyrgyzstan 3, Thailand, Greece 3, Nigeria, Bermuda, Morocco, Puerto Rico, Bahrain, Slovenia, Namibia, Saudi Arabia, Turkmenistan, Botswana, Ghana, Grenada, Cote d'Ivoire, Kuwait, Malaysia, Moldova, and all the rest of it yet to come. A lot of countries still left. Okay. The gold medals, we'll just do the top 25. It is a tight race, folks. You have China in first. And by the way, I want to say that I think this is the only statistic that is a tight race. Total medals, okay. This is fun. But when I was a kid, the country that has the most gold medals is the country that wins the total medals. Right now, China's in the lead 38. The US has 36. Japan 27. The Russian Olympic 20. Great Britain 20. Australia 7. 27. Germany 10, Netherlands 10, Italy 9, 10, Australia 20, France 9, 10, New Zealand and Brazil with 7, Hungary, Canada, South Korea, Cuba with 6. Look at little Cuba, 14 medals, 6 golds. Wow. Canada, South Korea, Cuba with 6. Look at little Cuba, right. Poland, 14 medals, Czech Republic 4, Norway 4, Jamaica 4. Then you have Spain, Sweden, Switzerland, Denmark, Kenya, all with 3. And that's 25. But okay, let's keep going. Croatia 3, Iran 3. These are both small countries. Well, Croatia's small. Belgium 3, Slovenia 3, another small neighbor of Serbia, where I live. Georgia 2, Taiwan has 2, very good. Turkey 2, Serbia 2, where I live. Bulgaria 2, Uganda, Ecuador, Israel, Uzbekistan, Greece, Qatar, Bahamas, and Kosovo. That's Serbia. They have 2. Ukraine, Belarus, Romania, Venezuela, India, Hong Kong has 1, very good. Philippines, Slovakia, South Africa, Austria, Egypt, Indonesia, Ethiopia, Portugal, Tunisia, Ireland, Estonia, Fiji, Latvia, Thailand, Bermuda, Morocco, Puerto Rico, all have 1. And that's it for right now. That's exactly at this time. And this is Saturday, by the way. Well, at least where I'm at. Early Sunday morning in Hong Kong. Okay. I think that's going to have to do it for the medal table count on the 74th edition of Englishing with Jings. This was good. And next up, as always, we have the 74th edition of the horoscope report. All right. Let's get right to it, shall we? All right, we start with Aries, as we always do. Aries, you're always first out of the gate. This is a week when leading the pack could bring you great benefits. This week begins as the Sun in Leo forms an opposition with authoritative Saturn in Aquarius. It feels like someone is taking the wind out of your sails. Perhaps you feel no joy connected to your job, or you're not being paid what you're worth. Your irritation could be reaching the tipping point. Today, you can make a change. Aries, you may be weighing the possibilities of sailing off in a new direction. With Venus in Virgo in your house of routines, making a trine with Uranus in Taurus in your house of money. Your imagination could be running wild as you picture various scenarios that would allow you to climb over the wall and escape whatever prison you feel is closing in around you. The word that keeps ringing in your ears is freedom, but this doesn't come in one great effort. Venus in your house of routines indicates small steps today are what leads to personal liberation. Very, very meaningful. Okay. I like it. All right. On to Taurus. All right, Taurus, this week you can break out of your routine. You're ready to surprise everyone. This week begins as the Sun in Leo forms an opposition with achievement-oriented Saturn. Here we go. Saturn is going to be 1,000 things again. In Aquarius. Today, you're wondering if you have the energy to stay on the career path you're on. Higher ups in your company keep asking for more, but there's only so much productivity they can squeeze out of one person. Taurus, you may feel blocked as you have already devoted a lot of time and energy to this path. Today, release this issue to the universe. With Venus in Virgo in your house of romance, making a trine to Uranus in your own sign of Taurus, you and your sweetheart may want to play hooky today. This is an excellent day to explore a part of the city you're not familiar with. Track down a high-end food truck that serves Indian street food or some exotic culinary delight. Then do some window shopping as you walk hand in hand in the warm summer sun. You're making memories. It's so nice. You know what? I'm reading the rough. Okay. On to Gemini. This week, you could be looking forward and looking back, Gemini. It's fortunate you can do more than one thing at a time. The new moon in Leo begins your week, lighting up your area of siblings and younger relatives. Over the next 2 weeks, you are likely spending time with a family member you haven't seen in a while. You might talk for hours about their activities and your projects. These could be happy times for both of you. With Mercury in Leo in your house of transportation making an opposition to Jupiter in Aquarius and your house of contracts, you may be scrutinizing transportation from all angles. Possibly, you're looking for a new car or truck or getting regular maintenance for your existing vehicle. A recall notice from your automaker is possible at this time. Check to make sure your driver's license has not expired. Gemini, you could be doing some government paperwork today. Well, that sounds boring. All right, on to Cancer. This week, shiny, nope, I'm so sorry. Pardon me. Okay, this week, the spotlight shines on your finances. Cancer, there are opportunities for new streams of revenue to flow in. Cash money. The new moon in Leo begins your week, lighting up your area of money. You can receive more over the next 2 weeks by paying attention to the money you have and the spending you're doing. You can discover new sources of revenue or find ways to work less and make more. Curbing spending could help your accounts grow, as well as looking at what items you can make and sell for profit. This is a good time to face insecurities about managing money and make friends with financial spreadsheets. On Tuesday, with Mercury and Leo in your house of possessions, making an opposition to Jupiter in Aquarius, you may be looking around and decide you have too much stuff. You can challenge yourself to sell or donate some of your material goods. Or you can run off to the container store to find ways to organize your stuff. Cancer, you often see the value of potential in each and every item. And this can make it hard to let go. But today, pass along some positive energy by giving items to friends and relatives. Okay. On to Leo. All right, this week you are the star of the show. Leo, your charisma is off the charts. The new moon in Leo begins your week, shining the spotlight on you. This gives a boost to your charisma and attracts interesting people to you. Over the next couple of weeks, you have lots of opportunities to meet new people who could become friends, mentors, business partners, or even a committed love relationship. Don't waste this energy hiding behind your busy work schedule. Reach out to people you know, and you'll find they are happy to introduce you to new people. On Tuesday, with Mercury in Leo in your house of confidence, making an opposition to Jupiter in Aquarius and your house of relationships, the positive relationship energy continues, and you have an opportunity to meet someone with whom you have real chemistry. If you're looking for love, consider posting your profile to an online dating site. Leo, this is a good day to let somebody fix you up on a first date. And if you're already in a relationship, consider having a romantic date night tonight. such as an intimate dinner for two. Very nice. Okay. Off to Virgo. Virgo, you're connected to mystical energy. This week, something extraordinary can happen. The new moon in Leo starts off your week, illuminating your house of magic and intuition. Sometimes you live in your head, but at other times, like now, you find yourself in the flow of mystical energy and feeling the harmony of the stars. Over the next couple of weeks, it's a good idea to explore your magical side. You may have a conversation with a stray cat, commune with a large oak tree, or pick up smooth water-washed stones by the seashore. This is a good time to listen to your thoughts and let go of what is negative or not useful. Virgo, allow your higher self to speak and guide you. On Tuesday, with Mercury in Leo and your house of escapes makes an opposition to Jupiter in Aquarius in your house of work. Today, you're trying to escape drudgery, perhaps through video games or binge watching movies. You may find it difficult to concentrate on work, so give yourself a break. If your mind starts wandering, it's a sign that you need a vacation. Oh, that sounds so good. What a vacation. Okay, on to Libra. What is vacation? Okay, this week, you stand up for others by lending out your talent and expertise. Libra, others seek your help. The new moon in Leo begins your week shining a light in your house of friendships and community. Over the next 2 weeks, you might be volunteering for a community charity, putting up a stand at a farmer's market, or attending your city council meetings. This is a great time to join up with meetup groups and do some networking. Do this, and Libra, people will soon be knocking at your door. Okay, with Mercury in Leo in your house of technology, making an opposition to Jupiter in Aquarius in your house of creativity, you may be shopping for equipment to support a creative interest. You might be pursuing the online catalogs for mirrorless cameras, overlock sewing machines, or digital art software. Libra, you may be ready to dive headfirst into online courses on how to make money with your art. Very cool. All right. On to Scorpio. All right. This week, there are good prospects for your career, Scorpio. Your name could move to the top of the list. The new moon in Leo begins your week highlighting your house of career and reputation. If you're looking for work, this is an excellent day to post your resume, add a cover letter, and you could really dazzle the hiring manager. And while you are job hunting over the next couple of weeks, it's a good idea to make sure you're on your best behavior or your social media, or while you're on your social media accounts. Employers are watching. On Tuesday, in your house of responsibility with Mercury and Leo, makes an opposition Jupiter in Aquarius in your house of dwellings. Today, you may be thinking about the gains you gain at home. You might be thinking of renting out a room or joining with family members to invest in real estate. You may be investigating getting a real estate or contractor's license. Scorpio, you could also pick up your toolbox and go around the house doing needed repairs. Ugh, that's not fun. Okay, on to Sagittarius. All right, Sagittarius, you're smart and getting smarter. This week, your education is under the microscope. The new moon in Leo begins your week on August 8th, highlighting your house of knowledge and education. It's possible you're getting ready to go back to school or preparing the kids for their re-entrance to educational life. Sagittarius, you may be getting excited with the smell of fresh notebooks and pens of different colors. Over the next 2 weeks, this is a good time to learn something new. Instead of just scrolling randomly through videos, consider finding some interesting documentaries or a reality-based series to learn something about the world and perhaps about yourself. All right. With Mercury in Leo in your house of contracts, making an opposition to Jupiter in Aquarius in your house of communication, you may be presented with a contract to review. This could be for employment or a new car or a lease for a dwelling. Sagittarius, it's time to sit down and go through the terms line by line. Even if they say this is a boilerplate agreement, it's good to know what you're signing before you sign. Additionally, with this aspect, you could do a little negotiation, perhaps on payments, interest rates, or lease terms. Good financial advice. All right, on to Capricorn. This week, financial opportunities are knocking on your door. Capricorn, manifesting money is possible. The new moon in Leo begins your week, putting a spotlight on your house of resources. Over the next 2 weeks, you may be refinancing your house, looking at bill consolidation, or find that you actually enjoy investing. This is an excellent time to explore passive streams of income, such as affiliate marketing, book royalties, or selling digital products. This can be a lucrative couple of weeks that just scratches the surface of the potential you could be making. It's likely you've already done the research and know the direction that you want to go. Capricorn, now it's time to begin. On Tuesday, with Mercury in Leo in your house of intimacy, makes an opposition to Jupiter in Aquarius in your house of values. A friendship could become intimate at this time. You may want to have a discussion about your values to see if this person shares these ideals. Consider discussing politics, religion, and what you wish for in the future. This could become a long-term relationship, so it's good to know if you're on the same path. Good advice. All right, on to Aquarius, everybody. All right, this week the stars are aligning in favor of romance. Aquarius, you are the object of admiration. The new moon in Leo begins your week highlighting your house of relationships and partnerships. If you're looking for love, you have a wonderful 2-week period where you are more easily seen and you see things more clearly. Now you can correctly judge the potential for a connection. If you're already in a love relationship, you may be seeing more things eye to eye. Aquarius, now you are becoming true partners. On Tuesday, with Mercury in Leo in your house of balance, making an opposition to over-the-top Jupiter in Aquarius. If you've noticed you're living in extremes of too much work, overindulgence in appetites, or just watching too much TV, it's time to find some middle ground. Be mindful and aware of how you're spending your time, resources, and energy. Look to find some balance. Additionally, it would be good to look at how you're using your time and energy to see if it is really bringing you what you want. All right, last but not least, Pisces. All right, this week, there are changes at the office which could keep you hopping. Pisces, there's new life at work. The new moon in Leo begins your week, shining a spotlight on your house of work. coworkers, and routines. Over the next 2 weeks, there may be some changes at the office. There could be a new software or a complete computer changeover. A favorite coworker may return after maternity leave or a sabbatical. Suddenly, there's new life at the office. Or you may be getting a new job entirely and spending your time meeting new people and learning the ropes. On Tuesday, with Mercury in Leo in your house of health and well-being, making an opposition to Jupiter in Aquarius. Today, you may get excited about a new way of taking care of your health through diet or an exercise routine. You may be inspired to do intermittent fasting or try Whole30. You might be doing Zumba in your living room or getting together with a friend to do Pilates. Pisces, you're gaining energy and a sense of well-being. Okay. That was great. All positive messages, I think. Super. So wonderful. Okay. It's going to bring us to the good stuff. It's time for some vocabulary, people. What do you think about that? Okay. Almost there, almost there. All right, for the 74th edition of our career series, well, not 74th career series, but the newly, we'll say newly created career series, Lifeguards. 74th, here we go. First one is emergency. Emergency. Say it with me, everybody. Emergency. Very good. Okay. An emergency is a noun. It's an unforeseen combination of circumstances or the resulting state that calls for immediate action, an urgent need for assistance or relief. Emergency. Okay. Vocabulary number 2 is binoculars. Binoculars. Say it with me, everybody. Binoculars. Perfect. Okay. Binoculars is an optical instrument, a handheld optical instrument, or composed of 2 telescopes and a focusing device, and usually having prisms to increase magnifying ability, usually used in plural. Binoculars. Okay. Next, we have whistle. Whistle. That T is silent. Whistle. Whistle. Say it with me, everybody. Whistle. Very good. Every lifeguard has a whistle. All right. A whistle is a small wind instrument in which sound is produced by the forcible passage of breath through a slit in a short tube. A device through which air or steam is forced into a cavity or against a thin edge to produce a loud sound. Whistle. All right. Number 4, megaphone. Megaphone. Say it with me, everybody. Megaphone. Very good. Okay. A megaphone is a cone-shaped device used to intensify or direct your voice. Makes your voice really loud. Megaphone. Okay. Number 5, rescue. Rescue. This is what lifeguards do. Rescue. Say it with me, everybody. Rescue. Very good. Okay. To rescue is a verb. To free from confinement, danger, or evil. To save. To take someone. Oops, that's the wrong one. I'm sorry. To free from confinement, danger, or evil. To recover someone from danger. Rescue. Okay. On to number 6. Resuscitate. Resuscitate. Say it with me, everybody. Resuscitate. Very good. Okay. To resuscitate is a verb. To revive from apparent death or from unconsciousness. To bring somebody back to life. To revive. Resuscitate. CPR. Okay, number 7, ring buoy. Ring buoy. Say it with me, everybody. Ring buoy. All right. Hold on one second. Technical difficulties. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. A ring buoy is a life buoy that's in the shape of a ring. It's thrown into the water, and the person who's drowning can grab it and be pulled into shore or to safety. Ring buoy. Okay, that was a tough one. All right, number 8, brave. Brave. Say it with me, everybody. Brave. Very good. To be a lifeguard, you have to be brave. Having or showing mental or moral strength to face danger, fear, or difficulty. Having or showing courage. Brave. All right. Number 9 on the list, suntan. Suntan. Say it with me, everybody. Suntan. Very good. Okay. Suntan is a browning of the skin from exposure to the rays of the sun. A tan-colored skin. Suntan. Most lifeguards are suntan. Okay. On to number 10, drowning. Drowning. Say it with me, everybody. Drowning. Very good. Okay, drowning is to become drowned, to suffocate by submersion, especially in water. To submerge, especially by a rise in water level. To be soaked, drenched, or covered with liquid. Drown. Lifeguard has to dive in and save and resuscitate. Right? Okay. On to number 11, first aid. First aid. Say it with me, everybody. First aid. Very good. First aid is always important, everywhere. Okay, first aid is emergency care or treatment given to an ill or injured person before regular medical aid can be obtained. First aid, the first responders, like a lifeguard, give first aid. Very cool. Okay. Number 12, we have distress. Uh-oh. Stress. There we go. All right. Distress. Say it with me, everybody. Distress. Very good. Okay, distress is a noun. It is a seizure and detention of the goods of another as a pledge to obtain satisfaction or claim by the sale of goods seized. That's not distress that we're looking for. Hold on. Parts, pain or suffering affecting parts of the body, a bodily part, or the mind. Trouble, a painful situation, misfortune, distress. Okay, number 13, and our final word, last but not least, cautious. Cautious. Uh-oh, we're a little slow. Bear with me. There we go. There's cautious. Say it with me, everybody. Cautious. Very, very good. Okay. Cautious is careful about avoiding danger or risk. Simple as that. Adjective. Careful about avoiding danger or risk. If you're careful and cautious, lifeguard doesn't have to do anything, right? All right. Guys, that is going to do it for the 74th edition of Englishing with Jings vocabulary. So we will finally get into some stuff about what a lifeguard does, about what qualifications you need to become a lifeguard, and some stories about life or death situations where lifeguards were brave and saved people's lives. Okay, first off, let's just talk about what a lifeguard does, right? Like, what is a lifeguard? It's pretty much the idea of working as a lifeguard may conjure up an image of handsome guys and gorgeous girls who are tanned, muscular, and beautiful, and who perform daring Baywatch style rescues along the beach. But in reality, the job is quite different from how it's depicted on television. Lifeguards come in all sizes and shapes, and they work inside as often as on the beach. It is, however, an extremely important job because it involves keeping people safe. Safety is very important. Okay, lifeguards are expert swimmers who work at almost any location where people swim. They know how to save a person who is drowning or who has sustained an injury while swimming, and they can give artificial respiration if required. They keep a close eye on all the people under their care. The job of a lifeguard has a great deal of responsibility. Okay, what does the lifeguard do? In general, a lifeguard monitors a recreation facility or a beach to make sure swimmers are following safety rules and no one is having trouble. He or she generally sits on a tall chair with a good view of the water and the swimming area. Binoculars are sometimes necessary, and if working outdoors, a large umbrella usually protects them from sunburn. Lifeguards working outdoors must also monitor the beach for hazards such as sharks, jellyfish, or stingrays, as well as dangerous waves and undertows. Lifeguards may be responsible for designing activities for particular groups, such as seniors or children. Make sure any equipment used is kept organized and in good condition. They sometimes maintain sports equipment. They're often in charge of keeping the pool area clean and safe if it's a pool lifeguard, and are sometimes responsible for pool maintenance, for example, adding chlorine or pool chemicals. This is what the job entails. Sometimes lifeguards give swimming lessons or teach safety classes. They may give demonstrations or proper ways to use equipment and educate people on swimming safety rules. They need to assess swimmer competency and make sure swimmers are not in an area of water depth that is beyond their skill level. An extremely important part of their job is safety. Lifeguards are trained in rescue and first aid techniques. They must explain safety rules to swimmers and enforce them. Should an accident or potential drowning occur, guards must administer first aid, rescue breathing, or artificial respiration. Are you suited to be a lifeguard, you ask? Okay, lifeguards have distinct personalities. They tend to be social individuals, which means they're kind, generous, cooperative, patient, caring, helpful, empathetic, tactful, and friendly. They excel at socializing, helping others, and teaching. Some of them are also realistic, meaning they're independent, stable, persistent, genuine, practical, and thrifty. Does this sound like you? Maybe you need to be a lifeguard. Okay, what is the workplace of a lifeguard like? You know, lifeguards work in both indoor and outdoor locations. They can include schools, athletic departments, sports associations, community centers, summer camps, municipal parks, recreational facilities, beaches, of course, resorts, and health clubs. There are also opportunities to work in hospitals and residential treatment facilities, helping individuals with special needs or the elderly. Lifeguards may be exposed to the sun for long periods of time, and wind and inclement weather may also be a factor. Seasonal fluctuations impact the workplace, with greater employment opportunities during warmer weather, of course, and work is often part-time. Although the workplace is generally safe, there are always risks around large bodies of water, and a lifeguard could be injured in the process of rescuing someone. They're not Superman or Superwoman. That's for sure. All right. How to become a lifeguard, you ask? Okay. What it takes, or what the qualifications are to become a lifeguard, you have prerequisites. You have to jump and dive into very deep water. You have to swim 50 meters in less than 60 seconds. You have to swim 100 meters continuously on front and back in the deep water. You have to be able to tread water for 30 seconds. You have to surface dive to the floor of the pool. And you have to climb out unaided without ladder steps and where the pool design permits. These are some of the qualifications for being, this is for being a pool lifeguard, by the way. Okay. I presume that to become a lifeguard on the beach, the sea, or the ocean, you have to be first aid trained, of course. You have to be able to, you're basically a paramedic. You have to be able to do, mouth-to-mouth resuscitation, CPR, all that stuff to try to revive somebody if they were drowning. So you're basically a paramedic on a really tall chair that knows how to swim really fast and can dive deep and grab things. Okay. How long does it take to become a lifeguard? Okay. Becoming a lifeguard can take between 2 and 6 months. The shorter process applies to individuals who have already learned how to swim and can commence lifeguard training immediately. The longer time frame includes approximately 20 to 30 hours of lessons over the course of 3 to 4 months and learn how to swim. What are lifeguards like? People ask. Based on the users from this website, lifeguards tend to be predominantly investigative people. This finding is expected, as these practitioners are trained to effectively scan a body of water with the surrounding area to prevent and respond to emergencies. Their work is by nature investigative. Makes sense. Binoculars, spying on everybody that's sitting in the water, making sure nobody's giving distress signals or drowning. Definitely have to be very aware. It takes a certain awareness to be a lifeguard. Okay, should you become a lifeguard? Perhaps the first fact to recognize about being a lifeguard is that it is not an easy job. That's the thing. People think that it's just sitting on a chair with suntan lotion all day and just getting tan. No. Not an easy job. It calls for a special skill set, and like most occupations, has its benefits and its drawbacks. Okay, let's talk about requirements. You must be at least 15 years old by the time you complete your training. This is in the United States, by the way. You must be able to swim 300 to 400 yards, tread water for 2 minutes. Okay, this is different. Hold your breath for 2 minutes and grab a 10-pound brick from 8 to 12 feet of water with a feet-first surface dive. You must learn cardiopulmonary resuscitation, CPR, first aid, and how to use an automatic external defibrillator, an AED. You must be able to collaborate with team members and interact with people of all ages and personalities, of course. Benefits of being a lifeguard. They have respectable pay. They have a flexible work schedule in a casual environment. For the most part, you're not saving people all the time. So sure, you're going to have some relaxation time, but you still have to watch. Flexible work schedule in a casual environment, opportunity to gain extensive customer service experience, of course, and opportunity to learn responsibility and how to anticipate dangerous situations. Not easy to do. Also an opportunity to learn and practice life-saving skills that can be a valuable thing in other jobs and in life in general. All right, let's talk about drawbacks of being a lifeguard. Okay, being a lifeguard can be boring and tedious, like I said. You can be sitting there for long periods of time doing nothing. The quiet, less busy days can feel extremely long. Lifeguarding can be annoying. There are days when babysitting all of the neighborhood kids can become tiresome. Requirement to work in various types of weather. It should also be noted that depending on their place of employment, lifeguards' responsibilities may extend beyond the lifeguard chair. At some facilities, the role may involve regularly testing the water for chlorination or salinity, changing pool chemicals, teaching swimming lessons, cleaning the grounds, handling customer complaints, operating the cash register, and even cleaning restrooms. It looks like your average salary in the United States is around $10 per hour to be a lifeguard. And people are generally satisfied with being a lifeguard. And the average pay for lifeguards in the United States is around $10.33 per hour. Wages typically start from $7.86 an hour. And they go up to $13.56 per hour. Top pay, $13.50 an hour. And this is 67% below national average salary in the United States. Looks like the top level earnings, you can make $28,000 a year. Senior level lifeguard earnings begin at $11.92 per hour or $24,791 per year. Mid-level lifeguard earnings, $10.33 an hour, $21,476 per year. And then junior level lifeguard earnings, this is when you're not old enough to really work yet. You're probably still really young, 14, 15. Junior level lifeguard earnings, $8.94 an hour, $18,605 a year. But once again, being a lifeguard is a part-time job, usually only in the spring, summer, and fall, I think. Okay. Looks like Alaska has the best average salary. You can make $37,076 as a lifeguard in Alaska, probably because you have to jump into very cold water. That makes sense. Alabama only pays $18,000. Iowa pays $17,000 as an average. Kentucky $17,000. Louisiana $18,000. Very low salary. We're seeing 18s as the lowest. Yeah. California has a pretty good salary. Alaska $37,000 and California $30,243. Not bad for a lifeguard. That must be for a full-time lifeguard, though, I should imagine. Okay. There you have it. Those are the numbers in the United States, and that's what it's like to be a lifeguard. All right. Let's go to some life-saving stuff. Okay, the history of lifeguarding or life-saving. In 1708, China's Qinkang Association for the Saving of Life was the earliest known organized life-saving group. In 1774, the Royal Humane Society, founded to combat ignorance and superstition, investigate and discredit inadequate methods of resuscitating the apparently drowned. Previous methods, not all of which were discredited, some of which occasionally worked, included using bellows to put air into lungs, rolling the drowned person on their front over a cask, putting the drowned person across a horse that was set to a trot, bleeding, rubbing with coarse salt, applying heat, sometimes in the form of hot coals or heated excrement, tobacco smoke or sage, rosemary, mint forced into intestines, tickling nostrils with a crow feather, any suspension by the heels. The first life-saving societies had to overcome the superstition that is unlucky to rescue and revive a drowned person. Wow, interesting. Okay. In 1776, the Amsterdam Rescue Society was formed and placed fireplace bellows at intervals along Amsterdam's canals so people could resuscitate victims pulled from the water during or after drowning. Cool. Late 1700s, the surgeon-in-chief for Napoleon's Grand Army, Dominique Jean Larrey, became the first to try to save wounded during battles instead of waiting until the battle was finished. Okay. In 1789, the Massachusetts Humane Society began building refuge houses along the Massachusetts coast for shipwrecked survivors. That's pretty nice. 1794, from the American Red Cross, text life-saving and water safety, artificial respiration was considered impious and placed nearly upon a level with professing to raise the dead. Wow, that's interesting. Okay. 1804, a life belt, the seaman's friend, invented by W.H. Mallison, was rejected by the Royal Navy as it took up too much room and the Navy did not want sailors to swim in case they decided to desert. Oh, that's rude. They put people that couldn't swim on the boats. Wow. Okay. In 1807, the Massachusetts Humane Society set up the nation's first lifeboat station on Cape Cod. 1852, Congress passed a law that life jackets or a float or life preserver be required on river passenger steamboats for each passenger. From a Coast Guard website, a strong storm swept the East Coast in 1854. Many sailors died because there were not enough life-saving stations and equipment had not been properly cared for. One town, in fact, used its lifeboat alternatively as a trough for mixing mortar and a tub for scalding hogs. Oof, not good. Okay, in 1855, according to an Atlantic City Museum website, the Atlantic City, New Jersey City Council appointed William S. Casier and the first constable of the surf. In those early years, the constables donned bathing suits between the hours of 11 and 1 to be ready to respond to any emergency. With the opening of the boardwalk in 1872, the first organized volunteer lifeguard service was reformed. These brave souls had to pass the hat after each rescue. Not until 1892 did Atlantic City organize a paid beach patrol. Like Baywatch. But the Atlantic City, New Jersey Beach Patrol says they are the oldest beach patrol in the U.S. and date their start in 1884. Okay. All right. On April 20th in 1861, Clara Barton, the angel of the battlefield, began aid to servicemen. Okay, this isn't so much about drowning people, though. Okay, they tell you about how the Red Cross was created. That's great. This is more for just like emergency services. I was looking more for the stuff that we read before this. Let's see if okay, here we go. In 1891, 2 members of the Amateur Swimming Association of Great Britain formed the Swimmers Life Saving Society, later to become the Royal Life Saving Society. Okay, that's a great one. 1894, from the American Red Cross, text life saving and water safety. No one should employ the more spectacular forms of rescue if less perilous methods may be used just as effectively. Okay, Sinclair and Henry, in their Book of Swimming, published as part of the Badminton Library in 1894, recount a tale of heroism, which aptly proves a point. The tale is much too long to be quoted in full here, but its substance is this. A boatload of mill workers were being ferried across the Clyde one evening. The boat was badly overloaded and had not proceeded 20 yards from the dock when it listed suddenly and overturned. One James Lambert, a powerful swimmer by the record and a good waterman, found himself in the water, gripped about by as many men and women as could lay hands on him, while others held to him. With marvelous self-possession and cold courage, he allowed himself to sink to the bottom with his burden and found the water to be about 10 feet deep. Being quite unable to swim because of the manner in which he was held down, he nevertheless contrived to get his feet down and shoved diagonally to the surface and some few feet toward the dock before he sank again, thus alternatively driving off the bottom. Getting a breath of air and sinking again, he managed to near the dock where ropes and boat hooks were used to relieve him of his burden. Upon checking it, was found that he had brought in 16 or 17 of the unfortunates, but did not rest there. Plunging in again, and yet once more he brought to shore first 2 girls, then another girl, and her young man, who were drowning together. Thus, and this is the irony of it, he found himself clinging to the quay, so spent and tired that he would inevitably have sunk and drowned if an old and decrepit man had not seen him and, extending his cane to him, towed him along the quay to shallow water and helped him out. Thus, the most spectacular rescue of all time would have ended tragically for the hero if the old man had not used effectively, if not as spectacularly, the only means at hand commensurate with his strength and ability. The point of the story in its own moral. Wow. Lifeguards are so brave. 1897, the first rescue can. Made of sheet metal and pointed at both ends with an over-the-shoulder harness, replaces life rings towed by lifeguards. It slides faster through the water, but the type and construction causes injuries. Okay. In 1899, Pennsylvania miners from a group take up the study and practice of first aid. Okay. In 1910, the first aid training was first introduced as a National Red Cross program. 1908, I missed this one. George Douglas Freeth established the first lifeguard training at Redondo Beach, California. So 1908, lifeguards were invented in the United States. That's what I was looking for. Okay. One more cool story here before we get out of here. Okay. At the age of 7, this is from 1912, Leroy Colombo suffered an attack of spinal meningitis, which cost him his hearing and the use of both legs. He tried swimming, and his 3 brothers worked with him, and within a year, he was able to walk again. He eventually became the first deaf lifeguard, as well as earning the title the world's greatest lifeguard. He saved 907 lives in a 40-year career, a record noted in the Guinness Book of World Records. In 1923, he became the first deaf person to join Galveston's elite surf toboggan club. He qualified by swimming continuously for 3 hours with no stops or floating. And in 1923, he became a lifeguard for the city of Galveston. Leroy made his first rescue of a drowning boy at the age of 12. In 1928, he rescued 2 crewmen after a tugboat exploded in flames. This required swimming beneath burning oil. Leroy almost drowned 16 times during rescues. He retired at 62 and continued to swim in the ocean daily until he died on July 12, 1974. Flags in Texas were flown at half-staff upon his death, and a plaque was erected on the Galveston beach he patrolled for 40 years. Wow. Amazing. Okay, in 1913, George Goss wrote a thesis at Springfield College, which was eventually published as a life-saving textbook. In 1916, it was promoted as water first aid. Very important. Okay, and one more thing before we get out of here. This was the 1916 requirement for lifesavers, which are lifeguards. Must be able to tow a person of their own weight 10 yards by each of the following methods. Head carry, using 2 arms and swimming on back. Under the arm carry, using 2 hands and swimming on back. Or the cross chest carry, using 1 arm and side stroke, using breaststroke, hands of rescued on shoulders. You have to know all these different swimming techniques. They must be able to show in the water 3 methods of releasing themselves from people in peril of drowning when grasped by a wrist hold, a front neck hold, or a back hold. You're also required to demonstrate both the Schaefer and Sylvester methods of performing artificial respiration. Although the Schaefer method is the one preferred, no mouth-to-mouth contact in rescue breathing. In one style, people were put on their stomachs and their arms were raised overhead or their shoulders pulled up to get air into their lungs. Wow. Okay. I think that's going to do it, guys. Okay, well, listen, this was really, really cool, really interesting. And I think we learned a lot about being a lifeguard, what it requires, how much money that it pays. Very interesting, very difficult job for not so much money. I think you really have to love it and want to rescue people on a daily basis. But okay, this is our first of many different careers that we will be speaking about in the future. So, having said that, it's time to end the show, guys. Like I said, very great show, very interesting. Let us know in your comments what you think about being a lifeguard. And listen, we'll see you next week for the 75th edition of Englishing with Jings. Bye for now, guys. Take care.